everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back with me in my craft room here at Random Acts of Crafting. Welcome in, and we are going to decorate, or at least start the decoration process with this photo folio. And this is where the fun part's going to come in. But we also have to think a little bit ahead because we want to put some magnets in. So in order to get our magnets, I definitely want a magnet to hit about here and about here because I want this to close. But I want my magnets over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure using my ruler. I'm going to measure about where I want those magnets to hit. And I'm thinking probably 2.5 and 6.5 might be a good point. So all I'm going to do is put a dot at my 6.5 and my 2.5. I'm going to look at it. That looks pretty good. So I know that's where I want my magnets to lay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my little tray of my plus and negative magnets. I'm going to take out a plus and a negative. And if you notice, when you put these together, they will snap together automatically. So I'm going to lay one over here, and I am going to put these directly onto where these dots are. Now they have adhesive on them, but y'all know me, I am going to put some adhesive over them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my trusty little art glitter glue. I knew it was here somewhere. And I want to just put some glue on that dot. Just a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. And then the sticky side, I'm going to put it down onto that glue. Just like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing with another one. I'm going to use a plus. This is going to be my negative, so I'm going to lay these over here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little dab of glue. Right there. I'm going to peel the backer off. And we're going to put this down right there. Now what that does, it allows me to make sure that my magnets are where I want them. Now I'm just going to take and drop these on top, the negative ones, and they will stick right there. And you can see how easy it will be to push this over, push those down, and they will be exactly where they need to be. But I'm going to go a step further. I am going to use my little pokey tool to see if I can get this backer off without disturbing my whole magnet. I remember one of my projects I was doing, I think it was the, I can't remember if it was the Christmas album or what. I was using magnets and I kept calling them batteries. I think because they're little flat discs, they remind me of those little batteries that, you know, go in our little remote controls for our cars and our watches and different things like that. So I was definitely calling them what they were not. Okay. Let's get a little piece of sticky tape, and I want this to be a good little square, so I'm going to use my scissors, and I'm going to cut this off so that I have a nice even piece. What I'm doing is I'm just cutting a little square like that. And I'm going to stick that right on top of that battery. That's just going to give us a little bit of extra adhesive. And I'm going going to do the same thing on this one. I just want to make sure that when I stick these down, they are going to stay. So now let's lift this backer off of these. And see, that just gives us an extra lining of adhesive on top of that here I go, I'm going to call it a battery again, on top of the magnet. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to fold this over, and I'm going to actually stand this up because I want to make sure that this is nice and even. And then I'm just going to press that down. And then I'm going to go in here with my hands and I'm going to press just on those magnets. Now when we pull this apart, we should have magnets on both sides, and we do, and they will fit up perfectly every time. And since we're going to be putting paper over top of this, these magnets will not show, which is the good thing. Alright, so let's go ahead now and get started with our decorating. Let me clean up my little mess here that I made with my little battery adhesives. And I just want y'all to know that instead of you having to watch me cut every piece of the mats for this folio, I did all of my measuring and all of the cuts off camera. But I had a lot of you that love the fact that I put the magnets in the video as well as in the description. So I will be doing that with this as well. And the reason I did it with this project is there are a lot of measurements going on. And there's lots and lots of pieces that we have to put together. And it's pretty much the same for the mats. And let me remind y'all again, the paper pack that I'm using is called Creative Agenda, and this is a Echo Park paper. You will love it. It's got that wonderful Echo Park smell that we all love. It's a really nice quality cardstock. We get in this one we get 2 sets of stickers, which I think is fantastic. Where's my other page? There we go. Those are our 2 sheets of stickers, and I'll tell you, I did not even realize this until I took these out of the package. So this was definitely a wonderful surprise, and I love the fact we got the alphabets here. We have all of these little creative things here that will be wonderful to embellish this with. So I'm going to lay those over, but I just wanted to let you know that that pack of paper is currently available in my store. It is limited quantities, so if you are interested in picking that up, maybe you want to do one of these folios like mine, then go grab that paper. It's 20% off of everything in my store through the 31st. So you only have about 3 or 4 more days left, 3 days I think. But anyway, without any further ado, let's get started with, let's see, I think I need to turn these this way. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to mat this beautiful floral on this side, and I'm going to do this with glue. And I wrote on the back of each piece what my measurements were so that I can tell you, and I also have them written down here so that I can put those in this video. So you will see right under here somewhere, or scrolling up on the screen, you will see front right 4 3/4 by 8 1/4, and that piece is going to be glued down right there. And I am going to use art glitter glue for this instead of sticky tape. I think it would take forever to do sticky tape on this one. So I'm just going to lay this down, hoping that my glue is going to flow. It looks like it's doing pretty good. And I'm going to go down the side. I love doing my little squishy lines like this. I got my ornament glue. I'll tell you what, when you're crafting, if you're not wearing art glitter glue, you just are not doing it right. I get this stuff all over me. I told my husband that if it was a skin conditioner, I would have the softest skin of anyone because I wear my art glitter glue. Alright, let's bring this up, and I'm going to open this because I want to make sure I can lay this down nice and flat. And I am going to center this up, giving myself that little bit of a border. Just like that. And when you are gluing these on, you're going to want to use your bone folder and just go over it with your bone folder. This will squish out your glue and it will help it seal down all the way around. And that's what we want. Alright, so that piece is down. So now we're going to turn it on the inside. And on the inside, that piece is the same things. It's 3 3/4 by 8 1/2. I'm sorry, 8 1/4. I looked at it and saw what it was. Now we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put our glue on your back side, the side that you choose not to. Now when you're cutting your pattern, your paper out, what I did is I wrote my measurements on the back. I did that more so I could tell you as I go, but no one's going to see that, and it helps you remember which paper you chose to go up versus what should be glued down. So that will help you if you are, if you forget, and believe me, it's very easy to do when you are working with this many mats, and there are lots and lots of mats. But matting this is what makes this folio come to life. It is your decorating, and y'all all know this is the most fun part. Okay, so now let's bring this one over, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to center it right there between those score lines. And again, we're covering those magnets, so that's a good thing. We're going to use our bone folder, and we're just going to press all of this down. Be careful when you get ready to go over the magnets. You don't want to tear the paper on the magnets, but these are super, super thin, and I will list where you can pick these up at. I know that Maymay carries them. She's sold out a lot of times, but I will check and see. And then we will, I'll see if she has them. So there we go. We've got these two sides done, and already we can see that it's starting to look pretty. But we want to cover this side. So this side, this piece is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, or 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. And we're going to put this piece down right there. So I'm going to move that up out of our way. I'm going to turn it over, and we are going to, I'm going to do my glue and my little zigzaggies. And I need to stick my pen back in here. It feels like it's almost like it's kind of clogged, but it's really not. I think it just had, yeah, there we go. It's flowing a lot better. And now let's bring this back, and we're going to glue this one down right here on this left front side. And you might want to open it up so you can get a nice flat area there. And you want to do the same thing, being careful of where your magnets are. But you're just pushing that glue down to the cardstock, and this is going to fold in, and that's going to fold that way, and then that way. So we are starting our decorating. See, the magnets are still catching, which is wonderful. So now what we want to do, we want to cover this side, and we're going to use this pretty little pushpin pattern for this side. And this piece goes under the envelope. I did write that down. Okay, that piece is going to go there. This piece goes on top. And this is our front inside left flap, and it's 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. And that's going to live right there. So again, let's lay this over here. And let's turn this over and let's do our little wiggle wiggle glue. And then we're going to bring our folio back over and let's move this piece out until we get this one glued down. If you're using pattern paper, which you probably will, be careful of the direction. When you're cutting it, make sure that you're cutting it in the direction you want your pattern to fall. Like this has the months of the year on it, and you don't want the writing to be upside down. The same way if you're doing something, now this one arrow doesn't matter because it is, you could use it in either direction because the arrows are going both ways. But if you're looking at something like this, you may want to be a little bit cautious of how you're putting the orientation of your paper down. Just thought I would throw that out there so that you wouldn't make that mistake, and that would probably make you dislike your project. So, and I don't want that to happen. Alright, so now the little push pin piece is going to go right here under your envelope. So we're going to put this down first. So I am going to get my glue. And again, this one doesn't matter. It could go either way because our little push pins are going all different directions. So let's try to get this as even as we can. And again, let's put bones over and let's just work this paper down, especially along this envelope. Alright, the next thing we have is we're going to put our covers on our envelope, and these pieces, you'll need two, one for the front and one for the back, and this one is 5 1/8 by 5 1/8, so you just got a nice little square, and this has got our days of the week. And we have a scant border around this envelope. So that's good. We are going to go ahead and put our glue down on this one. Get my little clump out of here. And the other day when I was working on a project, and I can't remember which one it was, I was having difficulty with my glue. So I took both of my fine tips, I just took the whole black cap off of my art glitter glue. I took a baby wipe and laid over top of my glue. You could seal it off with a piece of saran wrap, what do they call that? The one that grips to everything. The press and seal. Yes, the press and seal. And or you can just lay the baby wipe over it. I mean, whichever works. I took both of them to the sink, and I took a small bowl. I filled it up with some super hot, very, very soapy water. I ran hot water through them. I let them soak for about 5 or 10 minutes. And I used the toothpick, and I got all of the excess glue out. That is adhered, so that's good. Now we're going to open that up, trying to get this moved down so y'all can see exactly what I'm doing. And then this piece, I'm not using that side, I'm going to use this side. And we're going to put that down right there. So let's turn this over, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put our glue. But after I washed those and cleaned them out, oh my goodness, it was like night and day with my glue. So if you're having difficulty with your glue and you broke your bottle, you pushed your pen in and out, and you still get clumps, or you have difficulty with it coming out, do that. Just take them to the sink and clean them out, and you will be surprised how much better your glue will come out and perform for you. That's what you want your glue to do. You want it to perform. You want it to come out of the bottle so you can get it where you need it when you want it. Oops, that's not straight. Let's try that again. That looks much, much, much better. Again, we're going to really press this down. Give it a good working. Especially since I pulled that one up and put it back down and I didn't put more glue on it. But I think we're good. It looks like it's adhered. Yep. And now this will close in like that. Now we need to put this piece right in here. Now we want to make sure that it doesn't go over either one of our fold lines. And we want to center it. We're going to build a waterfall right here and one in the middle as well. So I love this piece. I couldn't decide if I wanted the cameras or if I wanted that. The stripes won me over. I love stripes. And this piece is 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. I don't know about y'all, but I love to watch a project come together like this. It just, I don't know, it just does something to me. I get so excited, and sometimes in my excitement I make mistakes. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that can relate with that. You get excited about putting a project like this together. You can't wait to see it come to full life. And, it's just, actually, with this being Creative Agenda, you know what I think I'm going to do with this one? I have lots and lots of pictures of my creations that I've made. What a wonderful way to showcase your art than in a folio. Alright, so now we have moved on to our center. So we've got all of these pages to cover. So let's get started with the first one. And I've got all of these pieces cut as well. And this piece, oh, I forgot which one this one went to. I think I did that one for there. Yeah, and this one here. Okay, let's do this one first. I can't remember if I wanted this one or this one. I think this one, because I have used that other print. So let's lay that over and let's go ahead and glue down this one. I know this was what I wanted for here. I thought this was so cute, and I love the way that looks on that front page. Alright, so let's turn it over. This piece is 6 3/4 by 6 1/2. So it's a little shorter than it is wide. So just a 1/4 inch wider than it is long. And you could do 6 3/4 by 6 3/4, but I just cut this one like this because I wanted to leave myself, and I'll show you when I glue it down why I did it that way. I want y'all to understand, as I go, I'll try to explain why I chose a certain item to go this way or that way, because I think it helps you, as I'm doing this, understand the process. And that's exactly what I want. I want you to understand everything that I do and why I do it. So let me bring this back over to the center. And now I'm going to put this down, and I'm bringing it up further to the top than the bottom. And that was my plan. Oops, that's not right. just like that. Now I am going to open this up so that I can lay that flat, and I want to work that glue down. Now the reason I wanted this to be a little shorter is I want to, and that little piece right there is going to fall off, and that's okay. We're just going to take him off. I want to run some bling or a strip of something decorative, maybe ribbon. I haven't really decided yet, but we'll get to that. But that's why I left that a little short. If you want your piece to come all the way down to the edge of your decorative border, measure your piece that way. Okay, so now let's grab this piece, and this piece is going to go just like that. And this piece is going to be more centered. It's on the back side, so I'm not going to put bling or anything under there. So let's turn it over, and let's put our glue. Let's see, I'm going to run a pin just a regular pin into my glue for a moment and see if I can break up. Now these are stainless steel pins. You do not want to use a regular nickel plated pin in your art glitter glue. And I know some of you don't even use art glitter glue, so a lot of people use tacky glue, but I'm here to tell you, if you ever use this stuff, there's no going back. It is the best. Yeah, see, I got a better flow now. I probably need to put my pin back in my glue in between pieces. And we're going to lay this up here, and we are going to glue this down just like that. And let's press it in. Alrighty, so now we have that one in. Very nice indeed. Alright, so the next flap up is this one, so we are going to do this one. And I actually paper clipped some papers here with a clothespin. I want this piece to live under here, and I want it to come out to the edge. I'm sorry, like this. I want that brown to come out to the edge. I actually thought about, I may try it. Let's try punching that same decorative edge there. And there. And now let's see if we can line that up. I just thought that would be so pretty. Now when you glue this one down, you're going to have to be a lot more careful in getting that lined up. And so it's not going to line up perfect because it's a little bit different size, but I think we can, maybe I'll do it like this. Yeah, I think I'm going to go like that. That will put that solid color under there, and then you got this beautiful little design down at the bottom. I think I'm going to go that route because it's not lining up. I thought it was a good idea, but it wasn't such a good idea. I needed to do my pieces identical, and this one was a little tiny bit smaller, so for that reason it did not line. So those measurements should be down in the bottom of the screen as I'm gluing them down. So now a reminder again, this one's 6.5, by 6, by 3 1/4. So 6 1/2, 3 1/4. So let's get our glue on this one. Now I'm going to put this one just below the decorative edge, just like that. But I also cut this little thin strip that I want to put right here at the top. So I want this one to go from here to here, with just a tiny bit of that showing. So I think to right there. I'm just going to snip this with my scissors. And let's see how this looks. Let's go ahead and put a bead of glue on it. So for this one, I'm just going to run my glue right down the middle. And this can be a little bit tedious, but I think it's going to add a lot to the looks of this. And it's amazing, sometimes just a little strip of something like that can look so cute and make the difference. Let me get a wipe and see if I can clean my fingers off. I probably need to wipe my mat down too, because I know I've got glue on it. So like I said, you can decide if you want to use sticky tape for yours, or if you want to use glue, or both. It's totally up to you. I think sticky tape would be so time consuming, and you don't have the wiggle room. So that's another reason why I chose. So now we have these done. We need to move to this page. This page is going to be our waterfall page. So I wanted something that was kind of neutral, and I thought this one with the graph paper was really good. And this piece is 7 3/4 by 7. That doesn't sound right. For some reason that does not sound right. No, it's not 7. This is the waterfall 6 3/4. 6 3/4 by 6 7/8. And it's going to go like this. So my measurements I wrote on the back of this was all wrong. So I have them written down, and they will be correct right here. So like I said, this is your waterfall, and this is the center, and this is 6 3/4 by 6 7/8. And 3/4, no, 6 7/8 by 6 3/4, no, 6 3/4, yeah. All right, so we're going to glue this one down like this. Just like that. So, of course, I left the pen out of my glue again, y'all. I'm going to give it a little shake and hope that it comes out. Now I'm going to put the glue on up here so I don't get it all over everything else. And let's go up to the top and over to the sides. And let's make sure we got it straight. And that looks good. Again, we're gonna just scrub it into the paper. And so now we got to do this side. So this is the back, and it's the same measurement. It is the 6 and 3/4 by 6 7/8, and we're going to glue it under here. So let me pull this down, maneuver my little folio so that you can see where I'm at. And this is underneath the flap we just did. And let's see, I think this one needs to go like so. I think I'm going to take it up because I might use a strip of something right there. So I'm going to take this all the way up to the top, and we might do a little something different there for our decorations. I think that would be a very good. I need to go this direction. And do I want to go this way? Yeah. So I'm going to turn that over. I'm going to hold it up. And we're going to put our glue all over the place. And then right up to that score line, maybe just 1/8 of an inch below it. We are going to do that, and then we're going to just work this into our paper. All right, we'll come back and address that little edge in just a moment. I'm going to turn this back around to the center, and while we have these two little photo mats that we put in. Okay, so we're going to mat these little photo frames, and these little covers for this are 5.5 by 3 7/8. I know that we don't like to do the 8s, but this was a necessary measurement to get this to work on here just the way that we need it to. So 5.5 by 3 7/8, and it gives you a beautiful mat. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down first. Let me see what I got back here. You're going to need 4 of these, and when you're cutting them, cut 4 from different papers, and I think you'll be pretty happy with that. So I'm going to put these down like this. So I'm going to do this one first. And just put it down where you're getting a nice little border around the edge. Like that. Oop! Well, I made a boo-boo that time. Let's just put a little bit more glue right here. I did pull that edge up just a little bit, so be careful with your bone folder. Like I told you earlier, it's very easy to catch the edge of the paper and make that kind of error. So I am sorry about that, but hey, you saw how to fix it if it happens to you. And you know, these little boo-boos, I know y'all tell me all the time you like the fact when I leave my mistakes in, and I think it's good too, because it not only does it show you that mistakes happen, it also shows you how to fix them. And I think that that is just as important of a technique of teaching as anything else, because if you remember when you were in school, the things that you remember the most were the ones that you got wrong. It just works that way. It's the way our brain works. So I'm going to open these up, and I am going to put this one here. So let's go ahead and get our glue on here. Oop. I'm trying to get away from me. And I'm going to put this one down about like that. And then we're going to flip this one over, and this one's going to go like this. I love this pack of paper. It's so versatile. It has such pretty colors in it, and you could use any color for your base and not go wrong. I see the navy in this. I thought the base would be beautiful in navy. You could do it in white. I chose this slate because I just thought it was a good backdrop for this particular paper, but this paper would be pretty with most anything. Now we still need to do a piece for here. I have a piece for the back that is going to be about the same size as this, but I think I want to make this one a tiny bit bigger because I do want to kind of cover some of these workings. So I'm going to measure before we go any further. I'm going to measure, and this one needs to be about 6 5/8. I'm going to go 6 5/8. I'm going to write that down. 6 5/8, and I want it to go up to here and down to here, so right at 8. So that one's going to be 6 5/8 by 8 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. Before I do that though, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put the back cover on. So let's close everything up. It has to be in order or it will not close. There. Let's turn this over, and we're going to put this on our back. Can y'all tell I just love this white and blue stripes? I think it's gorgeous. And that's going to be our backer. So let's go ahead. This piece measures 6 5/8 by 8 1/8. So if you are paying attention to the measurements as I tell them to you, but they're also right here on the screen, you will be able to cut your pieces and follow. I'm going to have all the pieces and all the mats in each video under that particular video. Like this one that I'm recording today will have all the measurements for the mats. The one that you saw yesterday will be just the measurements for the folio itself. And I figured if I do it that way, it won't confuse people as to what measurements go with which segment. And I try to keep it simple because I don't want to overwhelm or confuse anyone. I want you to be able to make this and feel the pride that comes from building a project like this from the ground up. So please give it a try. You know, even if you're new to paper crafting, you are going to learn so much in making a piece like this. So not only is it going to be a wonderful project, it's going to be a learning experience for you. You are going to learn so much technique. You're going to learn to measure and center your pieces. You're going to learn some decorating tips. definitely cutting, because there's a lot of cutting in this album. Okay, so the only piece we have left to do now is our piece that's going to go back in this back center. So, and I wrote down the measurements, so let's get our trimmer out and decide which paper we want to use for that center. And let's see, which one do we want? Let's see if we can find one we haven't used yet. Oh, this is pretty. I like that. We have not used that one. I also like this one. Decisions. Which one do we use? I think this one's going to win out. I really like that one. So, let me get my trimmer up. And as y'all know, the first thing I do before I use a sheet of paper is I cut off my registration strip. It's just my thing. I like to get rid of that piece so that my paper will fit in my trimmer. So now we need this piece to be 6 5/8. So 6 1/2 and 1/4 is 5/8. So if you know where your 6 1/2 is, 6 1/2, and your next one over is 5/8. So we're going to cut that at 5/8. It's your next longest one, not the short one. That one is your 1/16. I think that might be what confuses people. And now this is going to cut at 8 inches. That is so pretty. Oops. This folio will get away from you because it is quite getting big. Alright, now this is going to go down just like this. Beautiful. And it's just about time for my husband to call, so I'm going to stick this one in, and then I'm going to pause, and when we come back, I might end this video and do part 3 with building the waterfalls and decorating, because this has taken quite some time just getting our mats in. And I let my glue set up a little bit. Let's see how this will fit. That looks really good. So I think we're good with that. So now we will bring this down, bring this up, bring that down, bring this, oops, we gotta go back. These go over first, and then that goes down, and this goes up, that goes down, this goes over, and then this goes over. And we have finished, completely finished covering. We will have some more covering to do inside once we build our waterfalls. We're going to cover these 2 strips right here. But this is coming together absolutely beautiful. I think it's a gorgeous little folio. I have so enjoyed working on it. And we will be back, and we're going to finish decorating. We're going to build some waterfalls. That's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of our photo folio. That's a mouthful. God bless you all so much. Y'all all mean the world to me. I thank you over and over for tuning in to each and every one of my videos and supporting me. And if you haven't been to my store to shop, we have about 3 days left on our sale, and please go and take advantage of that sale while it's going on. Some tremendous buys in there. I think you'll really enjoy the products that I carry. I carry top of the line. If you're looking for alcohol markers, they're there. Ink pads, the little hybrid diamond Nuvo ink pads. Those are new in my store. I have some stamp sets in there. You will love the quality of the stuff that's there in my store. So take the time to run over and check. It's I'll put the store link here, and it'll also be in the description below where you can just click on it and go directly to the store. But go in and take a look and sign up for emails, and you will be emailed when there's sales or things like that. And I just want to let you know I love you all so much. God bless you, and as I always say, let everything that you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy of our love, our honor, our praise, and our life. And in closing, I love you, and we'll craft again. Bye-bye.